Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Bowling University studio from the International Bowling Campus here in Arlington, Texas. I'm Bart Berger, and I'll be your host for this edition of the Bowling University Tuesday Morning Profit Break. Thank you for joining us. The Tuesday Morning Profit Break is an opportunity for sharing insights on how to grow revenue, reduce costs, and enrich yourself, your team, and your business. Welcome to our new viewers, and welcome back those of you joining us again. Thank you for taking a few minutes out of your busy day. We have another great show ready to share with you today. Grab your coffee or your favorite morning beverage, and let's get started improving your profitability. Today, we have with us a very special guest, Mr. Andy Masters. Andy is an award-winning author, an international speaker and trainer who's presented over 1,000 programs to, get this, over 100,000 people on topics like leadership, sales, customer experience, including joining BPAA several times at Bowl Expo and our Bowling Summit. Andy has the distinction of earning 4 degrees and has written 5 books, including the award-winning Kiss Your Customer, 77 Reasons Why Sales and Service Are Just Like Dating and Relationships. We are very proud to carry Andy's books in our Bowling University bookstore. So, Andy, good morning, and thank you so much for taking a few minutes with us to share some tips with the audience today on this road to recovery.
It's great to be here, Bart. Thank you so much for the invite.
Awesome, Andy. So look, Andy, I've had the pleasure of knowing you for several years now. I know you are one of the most upbeat, one of the most positive people I've ever met. But when you tell me that coming out of COVID and in COVID is an incredible experience for service businesses, I know myself and some of our viewers today, how can that be so? Share with us.
Bart, everyone watching should be absolutely excited. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I really believe that. Because think about it. Of course, you have your diehards out there that are in leagues, and they're certainly going. But reality is, Bart, that more than 50% of people here in the United States still don't feel comfortable dining indoors or going to a sporting event that's not socially distanced. So therefore, that will turn. It is called the leisure boom. It is right around the corner, hopefully sooner than later for all of us. But what that means is you are going to have first impression opportunities for millions, I really believe millions of new people that want to come and try out bowling for the first time. But you also have the casual bowlers that were around before, the families, the Friday nighters and so forth, that haven't been there in a long time. Therefore, you have an opportunity now to make an amazing impression with them, saying, we are safe, we are fun, we have amazing world-class service, and we could not be more excited to have you back. Because that can create a transformation from doing a job to creating a bond that will propel your business for a long time to go. Or, by the way, real quick, the negative is if they walk in and they are not fulfilled, they don't feel safe, and they don't have a good customer experience, then you could lose them forever.
Yeah, Andy, I love that you share with us so we kind of have that second chance to make a first impression. I think, the optimist, which I know you are, 50% of folks aren't safe coming back yet. That's an incredible opportunity upside. I also know that you work with a lot of other industries like ours. What might you share with some of the other folks you're working with that might be applicable to us on this road to recovery that we might embrace?
Yeah, I did have just a couple things to share real quick. I do work certainly a lot in the restaurant industry and also in the events and travel and hospitality industry as well, very similar. And one of the things I like to share actually is from right here in Orlando, Florida, where I'm based. In fact, just a week or so ago, I went to an NBA game, Orlando Magic, and I also went to Universal Studios here in Orlando. And of course, did I have fun? Sure, I had a great time. But as you know me, I was always watching about the customer experience impact on everything that was happening. And you might think this is a minor tip, but I get asked this all the time, Bart. How can we make a better impression with that tricky situation of having to tell people to put their masks on if they're indeed a mask mandate in that state or in that situation? And one of the things I found at both places that worked really well is, number one, communication before the event, signage during. But even more important, it's a tough situation when you're asking an hourly employee, sometimes a young person in high school or college, to confront someone and ask them to put their mask on, and it could be a touchy situation. But we can actually have fun with this and have signs. And they can even be a little bit of having a little bit of fun with the signs. Put hearts, we love you, and a sign which is a picture with a mask on saying, we love you, thanks so much for putting your mask on. And they can actually, social distance for one, be a little bit away from them and just point the sign and say, hey, thanks so much. Oh, just a reminder, yeah, thanks so much. And they don't even have to say anything. They hold up the sign and kind of meander their way through the facility to make sure everybody is cooperating there. So I think that's a much better way to do it, a friendlier way to do it. And I actually appreciated it from both of those locations.
Yeah, Andy, thank you. I love what you shared about the mask because, you know, it was almost easier for some of us to operate when those mandates were in place because we could fall back on, well, look, you have to put your mask on, the government said so, versus now in a state like Florida where you are, businesses are making the choice, people are making the choice, and, you know, we still have to operate in those environments to provide that guest experience. So let's talk a minute about this term you use, guest experience, versus customer service. I know you work with a lot of great clients, a lot of great companies. So is there really a difference? And if so, what is it between, you know, the term customer service and guest experience? And, you know, at the end of the day, does it really matter?
Oh, my goodness, it matters. In fact, this is the game changer right now coming out of a pandemic. Look, you and I know, going back decades, really, we've always heard about customer service or world-class service. And we want to impress and even train our staff on smile, great eye contact, be nice to people, go above and beyond the call of duty. And my thought on that is absolutely. However, this is actually an amazing time. I know the pandemic is, you know, terrible and all these things, but it gives us an opportunity to do something incredibly important, and that is to reimagine every touch point in your facility from a guest experience standpoint. And that is from the very first touch that they have, which could be the internet or their phone, all the way to parking, all the way to, of course, bowling, and the time that they return shoes and even leave and go home. That is the entire experience. So therefore, we need to reevaluate based on safety, but also based on just experience and fun and atmosphere, every single one. Ease of experience as well. For instance, real quick, the parking lots, things we don't talk about. Is it well lit? Is it safe? Do I feel safe? Do I feel safe in here from a cleanliness standpoint? Was I able to go onto the website and say, yes, make a reservation for 5:45 for 4 people? And when we say reimagine, Bart, this is one of the things I challenge industries to do, is get in a time machine, excuse me, and go to 2030 and go 2040. Think of how the Jetsons would bowl, okay? And maybe they can actually go on and say, you know, we have 4 pairs of shoes we need. We need size 10, 11, 6, and 4. And what if those shoes were already there waiting for them at lane number 9 because they got a confirmation back? You'll be at lane number 9 at 5:45. Wouldn't that be cool? These are things that are possible. And I know you have some fantastic vendors that I see at the Bowl Expo every time I'm there as well. And visit with them about what their technologies and capabilities are, because it is extremely important, the experience that we give them right now coming out of a pandemic.
Great things to think about going forward, and you defining that experience in years yet to come. And I think we definitely should be there. But for our viewers turning in today that want to take a quick tip, something actionable that they can use, what's your, you know, not one, but what's your favorite simple principle that they can go back and start doing right away?
Well, absolutely, and it just goes back to the heart of customer service, if you will. And look, we have an opportunity to train our staff to keep their radar on at all time, not just of be nice to people and have good service, but what can we learn about them? What do we listen to? Oh, this is something interesting about their league or their team, or maybe it is a vacation that they just came back from, and you can, pre-COVID possibly, a vacation they just came back from, and we can actually enter those things in the notes in the system, or maybe they're in so often that we learn to have a relationship with them. I call this principle 15 minutes or less, $15 or less. It just, the smallest impacts we can have creates a bond, and guess what? Coming out of a pandemic, we need to create bonds and relationships with as many guests as possible versus just giving them good service and hoping they have a good time. So we have to be great listeners, train our staff to have the radar on of how we can create those relationships, because we want them walking away saying, wow, I can't believe they remembered that that's what I did last week, or that's what I ordered from 2 pizzas and 3 beers of the same. They even got the beer right, okay? That's what I want them to remember.
I love that. And the 15 minutes, $15, I'm assuming when you talk about the $15, that you're meaning that it doesn't cost a lot of money to deliver those guest experience moments of truth, if you will.
Mm-hmm. That's right. The greatest impacts cost very little time and very little money. We just have to have our staff with their eyes open, ready to take advantage and create that relationship.
Good. I like that. 15-15. That's my memory jogger for the day, Andy. I remember that one. I do want to sneak in one more question for you while you're with us today. And I know you and I have had an opportunity to work together, and I know a little bit about you. And I know that you had a very memorable experience when you were young, starting your career there. I believe it was about 16 years old. You were working in a restaurant that kind of helped define. So I'd like, if you don't mind, take a minute and share a little bit with our audience today on what happened and what that means to you.
Well, that's right, Bart, and absolutely, I'm now currently in Orlando, Florida, but I was born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. Hello to all my St. Louis friends out there. And I had an amazing opportunity to learn about world-class service from the single greatest restaurant in all of St. Louis. That's right, Dairy Queen, Bart. It was fantastic. You get free ice cream on your breaks. It was great. And I will never forget one day that changed my life in regards to serving people. It was busy. We were slammed. It was super hot. And I'm running around like crazy, all sweaty. And one gentleman, an older gentleman, came up to the counter, Bart. And I looked across the counter and I said, "How are you doing today, sir?" And he said, "I'm fine." All right. Well, he asked me what I could get for him, and hot fudge and chocolate sprinkles and whipped cream and cherry and everything. And I ran around making his order, and not to go too deep into it, but a couple of these things I thought we were out of, and I had to go back in the warehouse. And if people were wondering what was going on, I was rushing around to try to get this guy's order. I finally got it correct and pulled off everything that I needed to, and I handed it to him. And I said, "There'd be $2.76, sir," and he gave me the money. So as I turned around to put something back in the cabinet, I got a tap from across the counter. And it was the man. And he had tears in his eyes. And he said, "Son, I just want you to know that today's the first day I've left my home since my wife passed away 30 days ago. And all I wanted was her hot fudge sundae made exactly how she wanted it, because that's what we used to share together. So thank you, son. Thank you." And that was the day I realized that good customer service isn't just about good customer service. Good customer service can change somebody's life that day, because you never know what they've been through the last 24 hours, the last 30 days, or certainly over this last year. Why is that? Well, the gentleman, when he came up, said, "I'm fine." That was his answer, right? Well, Bart, always remember, fine stands for feelings I'm not expressing. And we always have an opportunity to change somebody's life that day with the service that we give them.
Andy, thank you for sharing that story. Great tips, great words to live by there. And thank you for being with us again. We appreciate you carving out a few minutes today.
Absolutely, Bart. Thanks so much, and I really appreciate the invite.
Awesome. Well, hey, folks, if you'd like to see Andy in person, just remember that we've got him coming up at Bowl Expo for the guest experience. Andy will be one of our featured speakers at Bowl Expo in Louisville this June. Andy's 90-minute learning lab, Hero Guest Experience in a COVID-19 environment, is going to take place on Tuesday, June 22nd, 8:30 a.m. And look, folks, you are not going to want to miss it. You got a chance to feel Andy's passion today. You're going to want to get up early and join him to catch his full session there. So, folks, as we wrap up another edition of the Tuesday Morning Profit Break, remember that when your focus is on growing people, people will grow your business. We look forward to seeing you next week at 10:15 Eastern for another great episode of the Tuesday Morning Profit Break. If you have any questions about today's show or would like additional information, you can reach us anytime at education@bpaa.com. Also, you and your team can watch any of our previous episodes 24/7 by visiting bowlinguniversity.net. Until then, I'm Bart Berger, and remember, do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. We'll see you next week.